New intro. So much love and appreciation to those of you who have been with me for the 2 year period plus that I've been doing this. Thank you for showing your love and support to the channel. And to anybody else who is brand new to the platform and you would like to support the channel, also, you can do it by way of Patreon, Anchor, the clothing store, and also the shoe shop that is listed in the comment description below. And again, thank you to any and all of you guys who have been here to support this channel during the 2+ year period. I wouldn't be able to do what I do every single day without you. A woman whose daughter was killed and son was injured in a March car crash filed a lawsuit Friday against the Nye County Sheriff's Office, alleging that deputies failed to arrest the suspected DUI driver before the crash. March 27th, 33-year-old Tyler Kennedy veered into oncoming traffic on US Highway 95 between Betty and Goldfield, slamming into an Idaho family's SUV. The wreck killed Michael, age 39, his fiancee Lauren, age 38, and their 12-year-old daughter, Georgia, all of which are from Victor, Idaho. Two other children were injured in a crash. According to the lawsuit filed on Friday in Nye County District Court, Georgia's brother, Jackson, suffered life-threatening injuries and was rushed to the hospital where he remained in a coma for weeks. Sheriff's Office records released in July showed that on the same day of the crash, deputies were called to an Amargosa Valley RV park after someone reported that Kennedy was armed and asking people for narcotics. But the interaction did not lead to an arrest. Lawsuit alleges that Kennedy was drunk and high on narcotics when he drove away from the RV park, crashing into the SUV a short time later. Georgia and Jackson's mother, Chelsea Roberts, also filed the suit against Kennedy and the Highway Patrol. Quote, defendant, Nye County Sheriff's Office finally arrested defendant Tyler Kennedy for driving under the influence and vehicular manslaughter. But for their releasing defendant Tyler Kennedy, this unfortunate incident and the deaths of 3 young members of their community would not have occurred. The Sheriff's Office declined to comment on Monday about the lawsuit. The Highway Patrol also did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Kennedy faces 5 counts each of driving under the influence and reckless driving, all causing death or substantial injury. In October, he triggered a manhunt that lasted nearly 36 hours after he cut his ankle monitor off and left a rehabilitation center in Las Vegas. According to police records, deputies were called to the RV park on March 27th, arrived around 1:40 p.m., and found that the reported firearm Kennedy had was actually a cell phone. Captain David has stated that his deputies did not believe Kennedy was impaired. Quote, the determination at the scene was either the crime did not occur or victim did not want to prosecute or it did not warrant prosecution as no criminal case was pulled or done. According to the lawsuit, deputies at the RV park failed to give Kennedy a breathalyzer or any intoxication test. Kennedy, who was injured in the wreck, was treated at University Medical Health Center in Las Vegas. When police interviewed him, he told investigators that he had seen an animal in the roadway and swerved to avoid it, causing the crash. Witnesses did not report seeing an animal in the roadway. A deputy who questioned Kennedy at the hospital stated that he seemed impaired, noting Kennedy had body tremors and constricting pupils, according to police documents. At the scene, investigators collected a baggie of narcotics that appeared to be a certain narcotic from Kennedy's truck. Kennedy told investigators that he takes Adderall and had used a certain narcotic 3 days before the crash. Long story short, the police don't care. Proof of which, a call was made, right? A concerning call, and it was stated that Kennedy had a weapon. Police said that they never saw a weapon, that, that thing that they thought it was actually a cell phone. How many times have we heard that with black people where it was actually a cell phone, but magically people stated that the police, I'm sorry, stated that it was a weapon that was going to be harmed or harmful to them, or it was going to potentially harm other people. Magically, a cell phone could do it. But supernaturally, when it dealt with Kennedy at an RV park, he had a cell phone in his hand. Nothing was let go. They weren't trying to air out the block that day. Amazing how they were able to determine that that was a cell phone and not any other type of weapon. But I digress, right? Now, a call was made and Kennedy was patient zero. And even though, more than likely his speech was probably erratic, he was probably moving in some type of zombie-ish type of ways, police decided that, you know what, we don't need to investigate here. We don't see anything out of the ordinary. It's one of us. It's fine. We're going to let it be. We understand, we get how it is, RV parks, people acting crazy, people wanting to call the police over nonsense. We got it. Right? And magically, on top of the fact that he was already on a narcotic and then he was already on prescriptions and he was more than likely, has some alcohol as well, three different things that can pretty much uh mess with, right, somebody's cognitive thinking, right? Meaning that they're not going to be in a logical, type of stance. So then that led to him some time later getting onto the highway and then crashing into a family, pretty much making them extinct. Mind you, he then told a lie to investigators stating that, oh, I saw an animal on the road and I swerved. Excuse me? So you mean you swerved to save the life of an animal just to take the lives of human beings? Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. It's an open and shut case here. Yo, like I said before, it's that's one type of drug there. Let me tell you. And then then you got the people, the eyewitnesses, they were like, we never saw any animals in the road. We know. Trust me, we know. Like Judge Mathis says, I know a crackhead when I see one, and Kennedy is one of those right there. Let me tell you something right there. But like I said, the police didn't care. The police didn't care. If the police would have actually arrested him after they would have given him like a breathalyzer or tested him for any like toxins, in his blood or whatever, however they would have done it, he would have been locked up. And that family would have still been here. They would have made it to the New Year's, but now they're not because, hey, Kennedy, he did what he wanted to do. Hey, the police, they did what they wanted to do. So, like I said, rightfully so, the police and Kennedy need to be sued. But knowing the police, knowing the organization, knowing that the money that they got, they're gonna be like, well, it is a sad fact that a family did lose their lives, but our officers did the best job that they felt, that they did, and they didn't really see or spot anything, out of the ordinary. And if they did, they would have attacked the situation, right then and there. Again, it's pretty, sad at the loss of life, but this is not on our officers. The main person to blame is Mr. Kennedy and his use of narcotics and prescription medications on the day of driving while impaired, which then caused the whole interaction with the family losing their loved ones. Right? That's what they're going to say. AKA, we don't really care because it's out of our hands. Talk to God about it. That's pretty much what the police is telling the family. That's pretty much what the police is, telling the public. And I'm telling the public right now, yet again, the police do not care. They allowed this to take place out of all the times that they could have did their detective work. Their crack shot, oh, I found some drugs here. Magically they could have did it there and saved some lives, but they decided not to. But let Kennedy have been black. I promise you he would have been locked up. And I promise you those lives would have been saved and they would have made it to the new year. But due to the fact that Kennedy is the exact same complexion as the rest of the people that are part of that town or that city or what have you, they overlooked that situation and they decided to let it be what it was going to be. Like I said, remember the scene in Spider-Man when Tobey Maguire sat up there and let that bank robber get away with all of the money from the rest of the organization because he got cut short and he was like, I forgot where it was my problem, right? And then it became Toby's problem because that same robber ended up taking the life of Uncle Ben because he decided not to act at that point because he was being emotional about a situation dealing with money. And now the police are in that same exact situation. They saw Kennedy and it was like, I forgot where that was my problem, right? And then Kennedy went off, being high as all get out, got into a car, drove up the highway at, some accelerated speeds and crashed into this family. And now they're sitting there holding that family's hand, regretting the fact that they didn't sit up there and take him when they had the chance. But now they want to just sit up there and put all the blame on Kennedy, when realistically they were the ones that could have stopped Kennedy from taking the actions that led to that family losing their lives. Craziness, huh? But like I said, that's the system that we live in. Let me know what you guys think about the story and everything that I listed in the video in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.